It's an 80s horror film. The remake takes it a step further. In this one, she only pokes it through her nipple. In the remake, she takes it through her nipple and out her. Hello there, I'm Scotty. You're not. And welcome back to Halloween Horror Month. We are talking about the original Night of the Demons. Yes, yes. I'm trying to this. I'm trying to get it to where it feels off. It feels off. This thing. That's a little better. The original Night of the Demons, I've reviewed the remake. The remake is the only one I had seen up to this point. After watching this, I still like the remake. It's not as good as this one, I don't think. But yeah, I finally watched the original Night of the Demons, an 80s flick from 1988, the year after my birth, of course. And yeah, this was prime in the 80s. I feel like the mid to late 80s were where the biggest 80s horror and 80s movies came in. Die Hard, Predator, um, Return of the Living Dead, Nightmare on Elm Street, the final, or Nightmare on Elm Street 3 was in 87. Friday the 13th, the final chapter was in 84. So mid to late 80s was where I think all the best 80s movies are. Aliens was 86. So, yeah. This movie right here, La Bamba, 87. Another good year, of course. The Gate, 1987. So a lot of good stuff in the late 80s. Me, 1987. Yes, Scotty? Yeah, okay. So the story follows a group of teenagers who are going to party at this house. They used to be a mausoleum. And apparently there's some evil spirits inside. Our host is Angela. And the actress actually was a real dancer. She has an extended dance scene in this movie, which is one of the two things that are talked about in this movie. The other, of course, is Linnea Quigley in the scene that I was talking about at the beginning of this, where she takes the lipstick and sticks it right in there. Yeah. Like I said, in the remake, they go one step further as she puts it through the nipple and it comes out down there. Down where? Down here. Down there. Just, yeah. Scotty is also here. My drink du jour, that Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. I change it up from time to time. If you're wondering what I had last time, I kind of want to tell you what I'm drinking for the ones. So if I tell you in one review and then the next couple I don't, it's usually the same day. Although last night I did Low Lives. Then I mentioned it was actually black cherry flavored water that I was drinking. It's very good. This is also good. So yeah. So teenagers go to a party. Demons pop up. The black guy, Roger, spelled Rodger. It's the smartest person in the world because as soon as shit happens, he's gone. Although he doesn't get away because the fence turns into a wall. And I kind of like what they did in the remake with it, where they just couldn't open it. Although one of the questions is like, why don't you climb over? At least, like with a wall, you can't really climb over it. They do eventually using barbed wire at the end of this, but in the original, it's a fence. Climb over it. I mean, in the remake, it's a fence. Climb over it. You know what I mean? Just do it. But yeah, our main character is Wendy, I believe is her name, and she and her new boyfriend Jay are going to this place, and they get hot and heavy until she realizes the only reason Jay brought her there is so they could hook up. They could get busy. Have sex. Do it! So she takes off. He takes off on her and she gets stuck in the room for a while. Unlike in the remake, Angela's not the first one possessed. In I don't remember. I think in the remake they established that it was like there were already evil demons inside, and that they were trying to do this anyway. So they found dead bodies and it bit Angela. That's what it was. They found skeleton bodies and it bit Angela, and that's how it started. Where here they do a séance because this is the 80s. They do a séance and they summon a ghost or a demon. It's called Night of the Demons, so I'm assuming a demon. And it possesses Suzanne. That's Linnea Quigley's character. She's the first one possessed. And the makeup thing, and she sticks the. I mentioned that. There's also a fat guy in here. What was his name? Pudge or something like that? Sludge? Something like that. Hey, he looks like he's about to get some. And then, no, is a demon. And so he's turned into a demon too. Much like in remake, almost everyone except for two of them is turned into a demon. Although in the remake, it's only one of them. Because I still don't understand how Edward Furlong turned into a demon. He fell. He broke his leg. He didn't even die. And they say when you die in that one, you turn into a demon. He didn't die. He broke his leg and then he just turned. I don't know. But there are two survivors in this one. Wendy, as I mentioned, and Roger, the smartest man in the world, because he wants to get the hell out of there. There was something that confused the hell out of me. Because I guess I missed his cameo at the beginning of this. But I looked it up on Wikipedia because the ending confused the hell out of me. Really. So, before I get to that, there are two standout scenes. I mentioned the Linnea Quigley scene over again. But then there's the dance sequence, which is one that people talk about. Angela's little dance sequence. Like I said, the actress, she was a professional dancer, rather, and was this is an extended dance sequence. They just let her go with it. She did whatever she wanted, and it is great music. This is very 80s. Like, yeah, it's 80s party. Unlike the original, it's not like a total rager, or the remake, excuse me. Unlike the remake, it's not a total rager, it's just a small little party. So the cops don't come and bust it up. The music just stops and she decides to do a seance, like I said. And yeah, basically these demons are going around. You know? It's a demon slasher combo. And this being the late 80s is when slashers were. I mean, the early 80s is when the slasher really started going, thanks to Halloween. And further than that, Friday the 13th. In fact, later on this month, I'm actually going to do a remake of another 1980s film that was right in the middle of all those slasher flicks. And I'll kind of it's more or less a original versus remake review, but I'm going to be talking about the kind of what I'm doing now, going back and forth. I haven't reviewed the original of that one yet, but I know enough about it to compare. Maybe that's why I can't do an original versus remake, because I haven't actually watched the original yet or done a review for it, I guess I should say, so I can talk about it. But anyway, so what I missed was I saw this old man and he yelled out, "You guys are going to get what you deserve." That's all I saw. Apparently he was carrying apples and razor blades to give out to the kids that came for knock on the door for Halloween, because this takes place on Halloween. But the ending of this movie completely surprised me. So after Wendy and Roger survive, we cut to the old man coming home after he yells at them again. And he comes in and his wife has made an apple pie. He goes, "Where'd you get the apples?" "Oh, it's the apples that you had here, because we didn't really get many kids, so I spent all night baking this apple pie." And as he's eating it, the razor blades come through his neck and cause him to bleed through, like he dies, basically. And now, so you're made to think, okay, the wife did it on purpose. However, that's not how it works. That's not how it would work. If he put the razor blades in the apples, you cut up the apples to put it in the pie. So as soon as she started cutting it up, the blades would come out. And even if she put the blades in the pieces of apple she was baking, apples get soft when they're cooked. Especially when you gotta put them in cinnamon and stuff, maybe a little vanilla, and they get soggy when they cook, and so you're basically just you're gonna chew on the blade. Maybe it'll cut your tongue, but it won't go through your neck. There's no way. If you're chewing through a pie, you're gonna hit the what's that? And you'll get like a cut on your finger or your tongue, but you're not gonna swallow the razor blades like that. That's not how it works. I don't even know how it would work biting into an apple, right? I don't know. I've seen the razor blade in something on Halloween trick done so many times in movies where it's so unrealistic, right? It's just so unrealistic. The most realistic one that I've seen is where they took a bite and it struck her. I don't know, pull it out. But even that was what was that? That was I think it was the Halloween episode of Supernatural, where the guy was eating the candy and there was blades in it. But even then, it got a little too much because he started puking up stuff. He started spitting out a bunch of razor blades. But that was witchcraft in that episode. By the way, that episode single-handedly why I can't eat anything while listening to Every Rose Has a Thorn by Poison because watch the episode. What is it called? Malefice Macarum or something like that. I think it's season 3. It's not even a Halloween episode. No, that's 2 different episodes. Sorry. The Halloween episode is the one Razor Blade, but the one I'm thinking of is Maleficis Macarum, whatever it's called. One's in season 3, one's in season 4. The one I'm talking about is in season 3. It's with the witches. Is what it is. And yeah, that's the one. The maggot burger steak thingy. That's the one. I confuse the 2 episodes, but I can't eat when that song plays anymore. There was one time I was listening to the radio, and I was eating, and that came on, and I went, no. The first time I ever watched Rock of Ages, right? I was eating dinner. I was eating lunch at the time, and they sing that song in the movie, and they start singing, and I'm like, really? Because yeah. But yeah. While it makes for a shocking ending, after they've defeated these demons and the sun came out and defeated them. There's 2 sequels, by the way, and the remake, but that ending is just it's too way over the top. And it was the 80s, that's when everything was over the top, you know what I mean? But still, I don't know, that's not how it would work. Right? And at first you're like, well, wouldn't she see the blades when she's cutting it? But it's very obvious that she did it on purpose to get this guy to kill her husband. But still, it wouldn't work that way. Sorry. I hate to be Debbie Downer. But that wouldn't work. Or a Donnie Downer. I'm a dude. But I'll give it to you. There's some pretty decent special effects in this movie. Especially that with the blade going through like that. That's pretty good special effect. The aforementioned Linnea Quigley scene. Pretty good special effects. They look pretty real. Even though they're not. Even the remake did a pretty good job with that, I think. It was mostly practical, which is cool. There was some CGI in that one, but well, it was good. The acting, it's an 80s horror film that's not the best. As much as I love Linnea Quigley, her acting is never the best in any of these movies. She always feels like she's kind of walking through the script. Even though she does give the best performance she can, there's a line that she says. Do you guys have sour balls? Yeah. well, that's probably why you don't get a blowjob. I'm like, I could say that line better. You guys have sour balls? Yeah? That's probably why you don't get a blowjob. Well, that's probably why I don't get a blowjob. I can do it. Well, that's probably why you don't get a blowjob. I can say, well, that's probably why you don't get a blowjob. That's why you probably don't get a blowjob. Do you have sour balls? Yeah. That's why you don't get a blowjob. That's why you don't. That's why you don't get a blowjob. See, I could do it different ways. Acting. But yeah, I'm gonna give us a pretty good. Eventually, I do want to get the Blu-ray because that's how I am. 80s horror is my thing. 80s was the best decade for horror. You'll never change my mind on that. 90s is also decent. 2000s, there's some underrated gems in there, and The Grudge, The Ring. The Ring is not underrated. That is fantastic, but I'll say The Grudge is also fantastic. But I do like the second one too. But talking about underrated horror sequels, Boogeyman 2. Not the Stephen King Boogeymans, but like the Boogeyman with Barry Watson from 2005. They had a sequel. That's underrated. It's pretty good. But yeah, so as people are tucking in the hallway again, what are you? Get off camera. I don't want. I'm gonna throw a shoe at them. What are your thoughts on Night of the Demons? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one. Why did I gotta be so rude? Don't you know we're human too?